Let's start a reading vlog. Welcome to this house of books. My name is Ashley, and here I love to talk all things books. So I literally just finished filming my last video, which is kind of my introduction back into this channel and this space here. I took an unexpected break and I finally feel like, okay, I want to come back to this space. So that's what I'm doing. If you missed that video, it is linked down below. So I have just a couple of minutes and then my kids and I need to get to some schoolwork. If you're interested in secular homeschooling, that channel is linked down below. But yes, we homeschool during the summer. We kind of like hybrid year-round homeschool, and so we start pretty early. We start in July, but that allows us to take a ton of time off during the school year when the weather is nice and we actually want to go and do things. All right, but back to reading. I have 3 books that I want to read this week. I have definitely been scrolling on my phone too much, which is kind of the premise for any of my other reading vlogs, is that I want to make it a priority to read more. And so that's what I'm going to do. These are all new releases, which is not always the case for my books. I have, I have a lot of unread books on my shelves, but they're not always like new release books. That is not my goal, is to be like having to read like the new release books as they come out. I read what I want when I want. I do buy new release books, and a lot of times they just kind of make it up there until eventually I get to them. But these 3, for all different reasons, I want to pick up now. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first I have is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am really interested in reading this one. I have heard so many amazing things about it. The reviews that I have seen are all like 5-star reviews. So I'm very curious and I want to read it. So this is set in the 1980s and you're following a woman astronaut? Yeah, you're following a woman who comes across an advertisement seeking the first woman scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Fast-paced, thrilling, and emotional, Atmosphere is Taylor Jenkins Reid at her best, telling a passionate and soaring story about the transformative power of love, this time among the stars. Very cool. Also, the inside papers are beautiful, so that is amazing. I mean, this just, yeah, that sounds amazing. The next new release that I have, actually, as I'm filming, it isn't even out yet. By the time that I post this, it will be. But it is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. So this is the second after The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I think that this is like set in the same world but following somebody else. I got this one from Aardvark. I don't always necessarily get books from Aardvark, but this was one of their picks this month, and I absolutely went for it. Oh, that's right. This is about a witch who she tries to resurrect her great aunt. And because of that, she loses her magical powers. And so she's trying to get it back. And of course, there's a love interest. Like, I am here for it. That sounds fantastic. I really enjoyed the first one, and so I'm excited to pick this one up. And then, because it is in the middle of summer, and I know that if I don't pick this one up now, it will stay on my shelves until next summer. So I have These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. This is a book of the month. That's linked down below if you want to go check that out. A razor-sharp, wildly sexy novel about a wealthy New England family's long overdue reckoning, and the one week that threatens to tear them apart. I love a good family drama, and I've heard really good things about this, and it just sounds perfect for right now. So, these are the 3 books that I want to read for this vlog. I am going to be audiobooking all of these. I don't have a physical book right now, but I might pick one up this week to just pick up and read whenever. But these are going to be my main priorities, and I am going to be starting with Atmosphere. This is actually a buddy read from Book Mama, and she also has her homeschooling channel, Science Mama. She has a yearly reading challenge. It's over on Discord. I am late to the game, halfway through the month. I know a lot of people in the Discord have already read this, but I had other books that I needed to read for the first part of the month, and so I am finally picking this one up. As of right now, I do have to put it down and start some schoolwork with my kids, but I am hoping that during lunch I will be getting started with this and experiencing everything that this book has. So come along. All right, it is in the afternoon now. We did some schoolwork this morning, had lunch, I watched some TV, and then I decided to pick up Atmosphere. Don't mind my little zip patch. You know, it happens. All right, so I am 44 pages in, 43 pages in, and I'm really liking it so far. It starts with a bang. There's stuff that happens right in the beginning. Sorry, I have a cat rubbing against me. I think that this book will be fascinating because being an astronaut is I have zero interest in it. But I think it'll be fun to read about. And especially from the women involved in this. If you hear, we have a nice little afternoon thunderstorm going through right now. Which is kind of nice. It's kind of made it a little atmospheric. Oh, all right. Corny jokes aside, I'm really interested to see where it goes. I did read in the Discord that some people were thinking that like all the training that is going to be happening gets a little kind of like hard to follow and doesn't really engage you. So at least I know that going into it. And I will be picking it up more later. We're going to get back to some schoolwork and enjoy a nice rainy afternoon. So I'll be back with an update later. All right, it is the next day, and I am in the schoolroom again. Last night, I don't know, we just kind of hung out after we got our schoolwork done. And I did a lot of reading, so I'm going to talk about that. I also gave myself a little manicure. I just got a new gel, and so I'm testing it to see how long it will actually last. Don't fight. Cats are fighting off screen here. I have had a hard time the past few years keeping anything on my fingernails long enough. It starts peel off and then I obsessively pick at it. So I'm hoping that this one lasts, but I am absolutely loving this color. I did that last night, and then, I listened to a lot of my book. So let's talk about that first. First of all, my fingernails kind of match. I am loving this book. I had high hopes because I've heard so many amazing things about it. And kind of in the beginning, I was like, I don't know, like it kind of hooked me with scary stuff happening. And then, it kind of flashes back a little bit and that kind of lost me for a little bit. Nope, I'm sucked in. I want to know what happens in the flashbacks. I want to know what's happening in space. I am so curious. So I made it over halfway yesterday, which is amazing. I made it to page 182, and what is it? It's like 337 pages. So I made it a long way yesterday, and so I'm hoping to pick it up a bunch today and read. It was also really nice because, yes, I am trying to not scroll on my phone as much. Obviously, I put some time and effort into reading and less time into scrolling. My goal today is to continue that. My other goal today is, I was not talking about this book yesterday, but all of a sudden I remembered I have book club tonight. So I need to finish the book. This isn't an official book for this vlog, but it's what are you going through? It's okay. Luckily, it's really, really short. So I'm like halfway, and it's only like 210 pages, and I'm on page 117. So I'm going to put the audio on during lunch and get a bunch of this done. My cat just climbed up onto a tall bookcase. Anyways, so I'm going to finish this and then get into this more. I am absolutely loving it. At first I was like, yeah, it'll be like a 4-star book. It might be a 5-star book. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of it goes. So as of right now, I am going to set up for our homeschool day. I need to make sure my planner is ready to go, and I have to pull some stuff out and put it here on the table, and then we'll just kind of get our day started. And I will be picking up and reading books whenever I have the opportunity today. Okay, I finished it. I meant to film another little clip as I was getting towards the end and give some kind of final thoughts before I read the end of it. But that didn't happen because I picked it up and just devoured the last bit of it. This was so fantastic. I did not expect to love this as much. Like, I've read Daisy Jones and Evelyn Hugo. They were great reads. This just absolutely sucked me in. Following Joan and Vanessa and all the other astronauts and their kinds of stories, and Joan's niece, I absolutely loved it. The way that it is written really has you kind of on the seat until the very, very end. And I was laying in bed last night at 11:30 listening to the ending of this with just like tears streaming down my face. It was so good, so amazing, all the 5 stars. It might be my favorite book of the year so far. I've had some duds this year. I've had some good reads, but they're not like favorite books of the year material. This might be it. So, I am so glad that I picked this up quickly and read it. This was amazing. Ugh, I am wind blown a little bit here. All right, let's see how that is. All right, so I'm not gonna let that slow me down. I'm gonna keep that momentum going, and I am going to be picking up A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I am really excited to get back into this. I really, really enjoyed the Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and so this is going to be my next read. I put a bookmark in. I haven't started it yet. Maybe I will get to it today. We are doing some schoolwork right now. And then I have family coming into town for the evening. So it might not be picked up until tomorrow. But it is here and ready to go for when I am able to sit down and pick it up. And yeah, I'm really ready to do a nice little cozy, witchy, rom-com kind of vibe. Okay, I am about to sit down and start reading, but I did want to give a nice little update to A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. So I am over halfway through it, and I am on page 184. So see, that's where my bookmark is, and I am really enjoying this. It did take a little bit to get into it because I just loved atmosphere so much, and so I knew anything that I picked up afterwards was going to be hard. I will say that the way that the characters are introduced and the side characters is a little confusing and a little bit fast-paced. They're just kind of like all introduced at one, and you're like, wait, okay, who am I following? What's going on? But our main character, Sarah, when she is still like a teenager, her great aunt dies, and this Fox, who is actually a witch that was transformed into a fox for not being very good, tells her how to do a resurrection spell to bring her great aunt back. And in doing so, she also brings back this rooster that had been long dead. And so he is just a skeletal rooster going around, and so it's really funny. So Sarah was able to bring her great aunt back. Now she and the fox and the great aunt and the rooster live at this inn that Sarah has put a spell on, that people only find it if they really need a place to stay. She was getting really tired of just awful people coming and staying there. So it's this whole mishmash of people that don't really have anywhere else to go, and they find this inn, and some of them are magical, some of them are not. And then, of course, we have Luke, who works for the Witch Society, which, there's ongoing conflict with them. We had conflict in the first book by this author, and so he's working for them and translates witch texts, which are never very clear. And he has a younger sister who is autistic, and they need a place to go. They can't stay at the society anymore, but they can't really go home to their parents because they are not accepting of the sister and her needs. And so they end up here, and of course it will continue from there. Now that I am more into it and understanding the characters and everything going on with them and all their quirkiness, I am really enjoying it. It is a fast read. The text is pretty large on the page, so I'm listening to it on 1.8 speed, and so it's a pretty fast read. I am hoping that either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, I will be finishing and then moving on to my third book for this reading vlog. So I have some time now. I'm going to put on my headphones and listen to a little bit. All right. It is no makeup day today, so this is what you get. And also my hair is on day 2 of these curls, and it has a mind of its own. But I wanted to get on really quickly because I just finished A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and I really enjoyed it once I was able to get into it. I am giving it 4 stars. I think that it stayed cozy enough, and even though there was things and, this bad person and challenges that had to be overcome and figured out, it stayed cozy. And that's what I like with cozy fantasy. I've read a couple lately that do not. Hi. All right. Overall, it had just the perfect amount of stakes to cozy ratio, if you will, and I really enjoyed it. I think that, the romance was good, and it was not the main center of this book. It happens and there's a love interest, but I don't know, it was just sweet and a lot of accepting of people of different backgrounds, romantic relationships, and just everything. It just, it was what I was wanting to get from this book. So that one is done. Now to pick up my last book for this reading vlog, and so that's going to be These Summer Storms. I already have the audio, and so I am going to sit here right now and start it right away. So I was reading that it's following a woman named Alice Storm, and she comes from a very affluent, rich family that has this Rhode Island private island. So Alice has not had anything to do with her family for the past 5 years, but her father dies. And so everybody is called to the island, and they have to stay on the island for 1 week and complete certain assignments in order to get their inheritance. And so I think probably a lot will happen with all of the different family members and the things that they are all going through. But yeah, smart, tender story about the transformative power of grief, love, and family. So I am going to just kind of get started on it now. It is the longest book for this reading vlog at about 380 pages. So we'll see how this one goes. Good morning. Come with me as I get my makeup on for the day. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna chug some coffee and let's talk about the book. So I have it here, These Summer Storms. I am like 167 pages into it, so almost halfway. So it is time for a reading update. Okay, so I am enjoying this. It is following not just a well-to-do family, but kind of the family where the father was kind of like Steve Jobs, you know, like huge creator of tech. And he has just died. His wife and their 4 grown kids then are dealing with the aftermath. We are predominantly following Alice, who is estranged from the family at the time of his death. And she comes back to this island where their family home is and kind of dealing with the death and seeing her family for the first time in a long time. Then we also have Jack, who is kind of like second in command for her father's company. And he comes to the island at the same time as Alice. There might be something, you know, that kind of happens. But he comes really to tell the family that in order for them to get their inheritance, all of them have different tasks that the father laid out for each of them. And they all have to complete the tasks in order to get the inheritance. So, of course, that leads to a lot of family drama. And yeah, I think overall I'm really enjoying it. I do like that maybe there's a little bit of a love interest there in the middle of trying to do like these inheritance games. It's interesting to read about like a family that's billionaires. I don't think I've ever read like a book that has billionaires. And so that's interesting. And yeah, I think overall I am enjoying the book so far. It's at this point definitely going to be a 4-star read, unless something crazy happens. But overall, I am enjoying it. So let's see. Today I am getting ready. We're going to do some schoolwork and get that going in our day. And then I'm hoping that kind of during our lunch break, I am going to be able to sit down and get quite a bit of reading done. I'm wanting to get this done pretty quickly. It probably won't happen today unless I like really devote time to it. But I'm hoping that by tomorrow I'll have this book done, because even though I've read 3 books for this reading vlog, I have a whole huge stack of books coming next. Yikes. And that, yes, I've been thinking kind of with this channel, like how I want to change some things around. And one of the big things is that I don't want to have like huge, strict monthly TBRs. That's not what I want. The past couple of months, I have been just having a stack of books. They're actually on my bedside table over there. And in that stack of books, I just kind of I can prioritize ones that I need to read and put them like higher up on the stack. And so that's what I've been doing. Still monthly, like I pull out books that are for book clubs or online reading things. And add those to the stack. But other than that, I'm just kind of picking from kind of my priority stack of books. So that has been going really well, and I like that setup. So I think at kind of the end of every month, I'm just going to kind of do a video talking about what's on my stack of books and not necessarily like a monthly TBR. So that is my plan. So I think probably the next video after this reading vlog will be that. So we'll see. All right, I'm gonna finish getting ready and I'll show you what I look like when I'm all put together. Here we are, all ready for the day. Put my glasses on. Yeah, that'll work. All right, I will be back later to give another update. Hopefully I'll give one more before I finish the book, unless I just get on a roll and read the rest of it. We'll see. All right, I need to wrap up this video. So I did finish These Summer Storms, and I'm giving it 5 stars. Somehow this book worked for me, and I like books that have a closed setting and set of characters that it's only them, usually on an island, dealing with some issues. There's people that you don't like they just have some yucky qualities about them. And this family definitely does. You know, they are raised by a tech billionaire. They're not great. Somehow all of it worked. You get to know each of the kids and all of their issues. And then there's also this like love interest throughout that gets a little steamy. You kind of meet that love interest in the beginning and it's kind of, you know, closed door, like you know what they're gonna go do. Not once you get further in, which was surprising because that's not how the beginning of the book set it up. But all that to say, like, it all worked for me and I really had a fun time reading this. I'm giving it 5 stars. Is it the same level as like Atmosphere that I read at the beginning of this vlog? No. But they're both 5-star reads. So I'm excited. Speaking of all the books, let's kind of go over them a little bit. Yeah, so I read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolute new favorite book. Look at that. I am not planning this. I just painted my nails this morning, but they kind of match now, and my last color matched that. Okay, 5 stars. Absolute amazing book. I kind of want to reread it sometime soon because I feel like there's so much that I will get from it a second time. I don't know. Anyways, 5 stars. And then I read A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Look at that, my nails match this one too. 4 stars. You know, it's cozy, witchy vibes with a love interest. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And then, like I just talked about, These Summer Storms, 5 stars. So overall, this reading vlog was a huge success. Let me hold all of them up. Yeah, like I'll take that. 4 and 5-star reads. Let's go. I also forgot to mention at the beginning of this clip that I did get my hair trimmed, so we're going with it. I decided to go back to short and I'm loving it. So that's it for this reading vlog. I will be back for my next video, I think talking either about what I read for this month or books that I want to read in August. So those will be my next videos. I'm having fun making videos for this channel again. As always, if you like this or anything else that I post here on this channel, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I will be back for more soon.